Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking, well, mostly all 69 MCU villains ranked in a tier list. This is the last massive ranking, but I will be doing a Phase 4 end of Phase 4 ranking when the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special comes out. And yeah, anyway, let's just get straight into this. Starting off with Abomination. For me, Abomination is going on the good tier. I really liked Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky or Abomination. I think it was Abomination is a good character. I really enjoyed screen time with this character, and yeah, just a really cool character and a villain that, yeah, like I said, I really did enjoy. It was a fun character, but we didn't really end up. We only got the Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk with this character and Shang-Chi, and that's it. But I would have liked some more. Next up, Agatha Harkness from WandaVision. Now, for me, this character is going on the great tier. I like Catherine Hahn as the role of Agatha Harkness. She does incredible. I think she did so well as the role of Agatha Harkness, and yeah, it was a fun character. Next up, Aldrich Killian, is that how you say it? From Iron Man 3 for me. It's a good villain. Guy Pearce did a good job. He was a menace in the film, which, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. He did well with that. It was a good character. I liked the character. Yeah, I like Guy Pearce in the role. I think Guy Pearce is a great actor, and he did really well in this movie. Next up, we have Alexander Pierce. Now, for me, Alexander Pierce is going on the good tier. I like this character. I think who played this guy, Robert Redford, who played Alexander Pierce, did a great job. And yeah, I liked the character. It was a fun character. Yeah, and that's really, yeah, I enjoyed the character. Like with Aldrich Killian, he's a menace, which, well, it's good. And yeah, I really like the character. Next up, we have Ashim, as I pronounce it, Arashim, and the Deviants. For me, I'm putting it on the okay tier. They're okay. They're from Eternals. They were okay. They're not the best ever. I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of I think it's a good movie anyway. The villains were a little bit of a letdown for me. I wish they could have been a bit better and more of a menace, but they really, well, they kind of were, but didn't really work out for me personally. But overall, they're okay. Next up, Arthur Harrow. For me, Arthur Harrow is going on the great tier. Arthur Harrow is played by, of course, Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke does a fantastic job playing this role. And yeah, I love Arthur Harrow. He is a great character, a great villain, and he is a menace, which, like I said, is a great job. Does a great job. Anyway, Arthur Harrow, great tier for me. Next up, we have Aisha, or the Gold People. I forgot what they're called. I don't know, the main one's Aisha or whatever, and the Gold People from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I forgot what they bloody called. For me, okay tier. They're okay. I mean, they're not the best characters for me personally. They did good with what they had, and I mean that's really the good hat. Next up, we have Batroc. Is it Batroc the Leaper from Falcon and Winter Soldier? For me, again, okay tier. It's an okay villain. I mean, he didn't really have screen time, I would say, but he was okay for what he had. He was a fun enough character. He got some mad skills with action. I like that, and yeah, good enough. It's an okay character. Next up, we have the Chitaris, or Chitari. For me, good tier. They're good. I mean, they're not the best, but they're good. For me personally, they're not like amazing top tier or anything. They're just good. I enjoyed them. They were fun. They were good. They were fun. They were enjoyable. Yeah, that's really what I gotta say. They're on the Avengers, the 2012 movie, and yeah, they're good overall. Next up, we have one of the Thanos' little slave people. I forgot what they're bloody called. His side characters. We have Gore the Glaive. Is that how you say it? For me. Put him. Okay tier. He's okay. I mean, I wish he had good screen time. Like, enough screen time. Didn't really get enough screen time for me, unfortunately. I mean, whoever played this guy, good job. But yeah, the character's okay. It didn't really have development because, well, like I said, didn't really have screen time. Next up, we have Crossbones. Crossbones, for me, I love Crossbones. It's going on the great tier for me. I love this character. I've loved this character ever since I've seen him on screen. Crossbones is a fantastic villain. I love Crossbones. I can just speak about Crossbones. Anyway, Crossbones, great villain. Love the actor who played him. Frank Grillo, that's it. Who played Crossbones. Did a fantastic job. Next up, Cole Obsidian. Is that how you say it? Basically, another Thanos slave people. Why am I calling them slaves? They're like Thanos' henchmen. There we go. That looks like Hulk. Cole Obsidian is a good villain. Yeah, it was a good villain. Didn't really get enough screen time for me. I like the fight scene. With him and I forgot what Iron Man. Or like it was around like the start of the movie. The henchmen all got introduced. Yeah, that was cool. And next up, we have Dr. Octopus. This is only for Spider-Man No Way Home, not Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1. Sorry, Spider-Man 2. For me, great villain. I love Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man No Way Home. He does a fantastic job, and yeah, love the villain. Next up, Dormammu. I'm putting this on the bad tier. I'm not a huge fan of Dormammu, to be honest. Never been. Probably never will. It was just not a character that I really enjoyed, to be honest. It was a boring character in Doctor Strange, and yeah. Could have been better. Could have been more of a menacing villain, but yeah. Next up, we have Mr. Short Guy. We have Dr. Arnim Zola. Sorry. Come on. Dr. Arnim Zola. Why am I bullying these people? He's a good villain. I like them. He's one of Red Skull's henchmen. He was good. I liked him. He was a good menacing character, which I like. And yeah, good villain, which yeah, you gotta like. Next up, we have Albany Moore. Is that another Thanos henchman? Good for me. Good villain. I like the villain. Yeah. I like the villain. Looks like Squidward, which Iron Man kind of pointed out. Anyway, Albany Moore, good villain. And yeah, just a fun enough villain that I enjoyed. Had a fun time with. Yeah. Next up, we have, I know some people say this is a hero. For me, I more class her as a villain. It's Echo from Hawkeye. For me, on the good tier. I'm really looking forward to the, well, not really, I am sort of looking forward to the Echo show. Still a bit mixed on it, but we'll see. Anyway, good villain, I would say. Yeah, good enough villain. It's a fun character, and yeah. Next up, we have Ego the Living Planet. For me, good tier again. I like the villain. Is it? How am I forgetting these fucking people? Kurt Russell, who played Ego the Living Planet, did a great job, and yeah, good villain overall for me. Next up, we have Electro. Now, like I said with Dr. Octopus, only counting, we're only counting, I can't even remember, No Way Home. For me, good villain. I like Jamie Foxx in the role of Electro. He did great in this movie. And yeah, I had a fun time with this character. It was a good villain. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a good villain. Liked him. Which is good. And yeah, Jamie Foxx is great in the role of Electro. And yeah. Next up, we have General Dreykov. Now, for me, okay tier. This villain really didn't really have much. I mean, he's the head guy. He's the guy that brainwashed Taskmaster, I think. I can't remember what happened in Black Widow. That movie was, that movie was not that great. Anyway, okay. It's not the best villain. Could have been better. Yeah. Next up, we have Ghost. For me, good tier. I like Ghost. Ghost is a good character. Yeah, just a good character. Wish could have been better. Wish Ghost could have been better. For me personally, but overall, it was a good villain. I liked the screen time with this character. She was a menace on screen, which is good, because, well, I mean, you're supposed to be a menace if you're a villain. Anyway, Ghost, really good. Really enjoyed this character. Really enjoyed the time with this character, like I said. Yeah, Ghost, good tier for me. Next up, we have Gore the God Butcher. Now, for me, this villain's gone on the great tier. I like Gore the God Butcher. I know there are problems with this character. He doesn't kill gods on screen, which is basically in his title, Gore the God Butcher. Anyway, Christian Bale does fantastic in this role. He is, yeah, he did fantastic. And yeah, I like the villain of Gore the God Butcher. Wish it could have been a bit better for me, like as with the butchering the gods. Didn't really, or he didn't even get any, I'm pretty sure, he didn't. But yeah, a good menacing villain. Next up, we have Green Goblin. Now, for me, it's going straight up into the awesome tier. I love Green Goblin in this role. Green Goblin does a fantastic job in No Way Home, and is, well, no, I can't say, he is one of the best MCU villains for me, personally. He did fantastic in this movie, and I loved it. Next up, we have He Who Remains, or people call him King the Conqueror. Not really titled that yet, but I still class him as King, as He Who Remains. For me, awesome villain. Loved him in the 40 minutes of an episode of Loki. Absolutely killed it. I love Jonathan Majors in this role. He just annihilates that role so well. And yeah, I just love He Who Remains. Next up, Harrow, played by Kate Blanchett, I'm pretty sure. Hela, for me, is going on the awesome tier. I love Hela. Hela did fantastic in this movie of Thor Ragnarok. She was such a menace in this movie and did so well. And yeah, I just loved the villain. And yeah, loved the villain. Loved the screen time. Next up, Helmut Zemo, or Baron Zemo. Whatever you like to call him. For me, awesome villain. I love Zemo. Zemo's an awesome villain. He's such a menace in Captain America Civil War. Such a menace. And then we got Falcon and Winter Soldier. He does absolutely fantastic in that movie, in that show. And yeah, who played this? I forgot who played Zemo, but he does absolutely fantastic in this role. And yeah, liked the villain. Next up, we have Icarus. Now, the reason why I didn't put him on the heroes tier is because, well, he's a villain. Anyway, because he betrayed the Eternals team. Come on. For me, Icarus is going on the good tier. Richard Madden does fantastic in this role of Icarus. The character itself, a bit bland. The reason why it's on the good tier is because of Richard Madden. He did fantastic. If it wasn't Richard Madden, if he didn't do that well, it would be on the okay tier. Anyway, Icarus, good villain. Overall, did have a lot of problems, and yeah. Next up, we have Supreme Ultron, Infinity Ultron, whatever you call him, from What If. For me, good villain. I think, this was a really, really good villain, I would say. Well, yeah, because it's Supreme Ultron and Vision's body with the Infinity Stones. Mind blowing. Yeah, good villain. Could have been better, but yeah. Next up, Justin Hammer from, what movie are you on? Iron Man 2. For me, you're on the awesome, no, hey, great, is it great? Was it good? It's on the great tier. Justin Hammer's on the great tier. I like Justin Hammer as a villain. Justin Hammer does a fantastic job as a villain of this movie. And yeah, I just loved the screen time with this character. The screen time was fantastic. And I don't know why I'm talking about the screen time. Anyway, the actor who plays him, how am I forgetting his name? He does so well. Next up we have Caecilius, played by Mads Mikkelsen. For me, okay. He's an okay villain. Not the best. Just a bland, okay character for me, unfortunately. Could have been better, but yeah, it was a bland character for me, unfortunately. But could have been better, like I said. Next up, Carly Morgenthau and the Flag Smashers. For me, good tier. That's a good villain, to be honest. Good villains. Yeah, could have been better for me, unfortunately, but overall, good villains for what we had. And yeah, they were fun. They were enjoyable. That's all what I got to say. Good, fun, enjoyable villains. Yeah. Next up, Killmonger. For me, Killmonger is going straight up to the awesome tier. I love Michael B. Jordan in this role in Black Panther. He does fantastic. And yeah, Killmonger is one of the best villains in the MCU. He's just amazing in this movie. Amazing. Yeah, I love that villain. I love the villain so much. I just love it. Anyway, great villain. Awesome villain. Next up, Kingpin. Now, this is only with Hawkeye. For me, he's on the okay tier. Kingpin could have been better for me. And Hawkeye, he was okay. I wouldn't say he's one of the best. He was just okay. Could have been better, but yeah, he was fine with what he had. Yeah, but if we had a Daredevil, he would be straight up to the awesome tier for me. And next up we have Crow. Now for me, Crow's going on the meh tier. This is a meh villain. I mean, didn't really, intrigue me. Didn't really have a good enough time with this character. It was boring basically. The villain's boring for me. I didn't really enjoy my time with this character. Could have been better. But yeah, Crow's a meh character. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with this character. Could have been better, like I said. But this villain was from Eternals. Yeah, it's a villain. Next up we have Curse with a K. For me, Curse is going on the bad tier. What movie you're on? You're on Thor: The Dark World, I think. You killed. Did you kill You killed Thor's mum, right? I might be totally wrong because I can't even remember the Thor: Dark World. Anyway, Curse is a bad villain. Didn't really enjoy this character. It was boring. Yeah, no, just nothing really. Next up, Laufey. Remember this villain? Well, I don't. It's on the bad tier for me. Laufey is a bad villain. Yeah, that's really all we're going to say. Laufey's a bad villain. Didn't really enjoy the screen time with this villain. It was just boring. Yeah, just a boring villain from Thor: The Dark World, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, could have been better, but it wasn't. Next up for me is Lizard from Spider-Man No Way Home. For me, good villain. I enjoy Lizard. It was a good villain. Yeah, well, it was a good villain that I enjoyed, had a fun time with. That's really it, to be honest. It was a good villain. And yeah, which could have been better. I wish it could have been better, but yeah. It was fine. It was enjoyable. And yeah, the actor who plays Lizard, good job. Next up, Loki. Loki's more of an anti-hero, so I put him on both because, well, it's my tier list. He's on the awesome tier for me. Loki is one of the best MCU villains. He is, one of the best for me. And yeah, I love the villain. And yeah, fun villain that that I enjoyed, and yeah, that's really it. What I was gonna say. Yeah. Next up, we have Malachith. Remember this villain? Well, I don't. It's on the awful tier. Malachith is, well, I don't know if there's any more on the awful tier. It could be the worst MCU villain. I just hate this character. Oh, I hate this character with a passion so much. Malachith from the Thor: The Dark World. Oh my god, this is the most blandest villain probably ever. in the MCU. It's just bad. Next up, Mysterio. Now, probably one of the only people that puts him on this tier. I'm putting him on the awesome tier. I love Mysterio. Mysterio is a great villain. Jake Gyllenhaal does a fantastic job in this performance of Mysterio. Unfortunately, I could see that the little twist in the middle of the movie, but I mean, everyone knows Mysterio is a villain, basically. Come on. But you know, I enjoy this character. Thumbs up for me. Next up, we have is it Najma from Miss Marvel. For me, okay tier. This villain really didn't have enough for me to induce my love for this character. Yeah, it was a character that could have worked, but didn't. Yeah, it's unfortunate for me, because I enjoy this character, but it's just okay for me. Next up, Namor. For me, Namor is going straight on the great tier. I love Namor. Namor is one of the best. No, sorry, he's not one of the best. He is near one of the best. No, he's not. He's a great villain. He's a great villain. I love the actor who plays Namor. He kills it in this role. And yeah, I love Namor. Namor's a great villain in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Next up, we have Obidastain as a... I'm so shit. As Obidastain, Ironmonger. For me, great villain. Love this character. The actor who plays him kills it. And yeah, I love the villain. Love the villain. Love. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up. Anyway, great villain. Yeah. Oh. Next up, Proxima Midnight, as they said. For me, okay tier. It's an okay villain, to be honest. Okay. Could have worked better for me. It was just okay. It was a bland villain, and yeah, that's really it. It's just a bland villain that could have worked better for me, but yeah, it's fine. Next up, we have Razor Fist from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. For me, good tier. I like this villain. It's a good villain. The actor who plays him did really well, and yeah, I like the little razor. How he has like basically no arm but a razor. It's sick. Anyway, I like the villain. It's a good villain. Yeah, it's a fun enough villain that I enjoyed. Next up, Red Skull. For me, Red Skull, I don't know if everyone will agree with me. For me, Red Skull's on the awesome tier. I love Red Skull. Red Skull's an awesome villain for me. He kills it in Captain America the First Avenger. And then all the other movies, he just kills it. And yeah, I love Red Skull. Red Skull is a fantastic villain. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Red Skull? I mean, there probably are some people that don't. Anyway, next up, Roman the Accuser. For me, Roman the Accuser is going on the great tier. I actually really enjoy Roman the Accuser. He's a great villain for me. I just really enjoy this villain, to be honest. And yeah, it's a good, enjoyable villain that I had a fun time with. That's basically it. It's a good, fun villain that I had a fun time with. Next up on the list is Sandman. Sandman, for me, is going on the good tier. Sandman's a good villain. I think the actor who plays him did really well. This is only with No Way Home, anyway. Yeah, I like the villain. He's a good menace on the screen. He was a good villain. I liked his powers. Even though he was kind of a hero, like when we first introduced his character in No Way Home, but then he turned bad. But you know, good villain. Next up, Scarlet Witch. Now, this is her as a villain, not a hero. Scarlet Witch, for me, is going on the great tier. I love Scarlet Witch as a villain. When she killed that Illuminati, that was insane. That was really sick. I loved that. And yeah, Elizabeth Olsen kills it, and love the villain. Next up, Shocker. Remember that villain from Spider-Man Homecoming? Well, I do. For me, Shocker is going on the good tier. I like the villain. It's a good villain that I enjoyed my time with. Yeah, that's really all what I gotta say. It's a good villain that I enjoyed my time with. It's a fun, entertaining villain that I enjoyed. Yeah. God damn it. Next up, Sonny Birch. For me, Sonny Birch is a meh character. Remember this character? I don't. Sonny Birch is from what movie? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Walton Goggins, good actor in this movie. He was good, but the character was boring. Boring. It was just meh. It was just basically a smosh of nothing. That's it. Next up, we have Taskmaster. For me, Taskmaster's a bad villain. Now, Taskmaster actually moved up, because I used to think it was an awful villain, but now it moved up. It's still a bad villain. I really don't enjoy this villain. I mean, it has lots of problems. And Black Widow. I did that on purpose, the Black Widow, because it's mid. Why am I saying mid? No one uses that word anymore. I'll do that. I don't know. Anyway, bad villain. Next up, Thanos. Thanos, the purple nutsack. For me, he's on the awesome tier. Love him. Love Thanos. Josh Brolin kills it in this role. Yeah, awesome villain. Love Thanos. He's just the best. He's the best. He is the one and only. He's a top dog. Next up we have, oh god, what the hell happened here? There we go. We have Destroyer. For me, Destroyer is going on the okay tier. He's a villain in he's the villain of Thor. I mean, cool. I don't care. I mean, it's a fine villain. It's okay. Next up, the Winter Soldier. Yes. For me, the Winter Soldier's going straight up with. How did the Winter Soldier go? There we go. The Winter Soldier is going straight up to the awesome tier. I love the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is awesome. Love the villain. Love the villain. I mean, who doesn't love the Winter Soldier? Come on. The movie overall, a good movie, a great movie, awesome movie. Next up, we have Thunderbolt Ross. Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross is going on the good tier. I like the villain. It's a good villain. Really got nothing else to say. It's a good villain. I mean, the storyline of this character could have worked a bit better for me, but overall, it was a good villain. I had a good time with this villain. Yeah. Next up, we have, oh god, do I have to talk? Titania, is that what you call it? Played by Jamel. For me, okay villain. She was one of the villains in She-Hulk. Sort of a villain. She wasn't actually the main villain, but I'll get to that soon. It's an okay villain. It's a fun enough villain. It's okay. Could have worked better for me. Yeah. That's really it. Next up we have, well, he has like 3 names. Todd Phelps. Yeah, Hulk King. And Intelligencer, whatever you're the Intelligencer. For me, a good villain. I enjoy him. He was the main villain of this She-Hulk show. Good enough. Could have worked better for me, but yeah, it was a good enough villain that I enjoyed. Yeah, good enough villain, which pushes it up. Next up for me is the Tracksuit Mafia from Hawkeye. For me, the Tracksuit Mafia is going on the good tier. I like the Tracksuit Mafia. They were good villains in Hawkeye. They were funny. I like their humor. And yeah, that's really all what they got going for them. Yeah, they were good. They were good for what we had of these characters. Next up for me, we have Trevor Slattery, or the Fake Mandarin. For me, good tier. I like Fake Mandarin Trevor Slattery. He's a good villain. He's very funny. Ben Kingsley kills it in this role. He was in Iron Man 3, and also in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Love the villain. Yeah, great villain. Next up we have Ulysses Claw. Ulysses Claw is going on the great tier. I love Ulysses Claw. He is played by Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis kills it. Love the villain. Love the villain. Great villain. He was in, what movies was he? He was in a lot of movies. He was in a lot of Marvel movies. But yeah, great villain overall. Really enjoyed my time with him. But yeah, I like the villain. Next up for me is Ultron. Now, Ultron for me is going on the good tier. I like Ultron. It's a good villain. Menace and Avengers Age of Ultron. Love the villain. Well, I wouldn't say love, I would say good villain. Anyway, good enough villain that I enjoyed, had a fun time with. Yeah, that's really it. It was a good enough villain that I had a fun time with. Next up, US Agent. Yeah, for me, US Agent's going on the good tier. He was from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Good enough villain. He's played by Wyatt Russell, I'm pretty sure. Is that what we call him? Anyway, US Agent, good villain. I enjoy him. That's all what I gotta say. He was a good villain. I enjoyed him. Yeah. Next up for me is, what's your name? Verussa, from Werewolf by Night. Putting it on the okay tier. It was okay. It could have been better for me. Yeah, that's really it. Could have been better for me. It was okay. Fun enough villain. Yeah, that's really it. It was a fun enough villain, but could have been better. And yeah, that's it. Could have been better. I like where the storyline of this character was gonna go, but it didn't really work out for me. And yeah, next up we have Vulture. Now Vulture for me is going on the awesome tier. I love Vulture. Michael Keaton kills this role. You got to see there's like 3 Spider-Man villains. Anyway, Vulture is a great villain. I love Michael Keaton in this role of Vulture, and yeah, he's just a menace. And when you find out that when I'm not gonna spoil it, I won't spoil it. I'm not rude. Next up, we have Whiplash. Whiplash for me is going on the meh tier. That's a meh villain, to be honest. Mickey Rourke was okay as his villain. I mean, yeah, it was a bland villain. Didn't really have much going for it for me personally. Yeah, could have worked way better than what I wanted it to, but you know, it didn't work for me. Yeah, it didn't really work that well for me. Next up, we have Yux, is it Yux? Wenwu, or the Real Mandarin. For me, this villain is going straight up to the awesome tier. I love this villain. Tony Leung, who played this character, just kills it. And yeah, I loved this villain so much. Great villain. Great villain. Next up, we have... Where we going? Hello? Yellow Jacket. For me, Yellow Jacket's on the good tier. I enjoy Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket's a fine character. I mean, there's nothing really much going for this character, but it was a fine character. Enjoyable for what we had the screen time with. Yeah, that's really it. Could have worked better for me. Yeah. Lastly, Yonrog for me, bad tier. Didn't really enjoy this villain, to be completely honest. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this character. Could have worked better for me. But yeah, I enjoyed this villain. It was a fun. Just kidding, that was a bad villain. Yonrog, Could have been better. Didn't really work out for me. Yeah, that's really it. That's my ranking of all 69 MCU villains. I know this was a very long video. I do apologise. But this will hopefully be one of the last long videos till my apologies, till January, when I rank all of the 2022 movies I saw ranked. There is a lot. I've nearly seen over 200 films, new releases, so that will be cut in quite a lot of parts, because I do little parts, like what I did last year, and what I did in 2020, but yeah, it's just a yearly tradition on what we do, we're back at it, and yeah. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, take care. And, I'm just waiting. Peace.